We've become numb to these statistics. We're not surprised by them. We take them as the norm. We just assume this is an inevitable part of American life, instead of the outrage that it is.
The president's new My Brother's Keeper initiative is powerful and inspiring. Now we have the big brother in chief connecting the needs of the troubled black community to the needs of the entire American community and speaking in a way only a black president could, from personal experience and language black boys can connect to.
I made bad choices. I got high without always thinking about the harm that it could do. I didn't always take school as seriously as I should have. I made excuses. Sometimes I sold myself short. And I remember when I was saying this, Christian, you may remember this, after I was finished, the guy sitting next to me said, "Are you talking about you?" I said, "Yeah." And the point was I could see myself in these young men.
Obama's biography has always been one of his best tools, but I also find myself depressed by all this because we see how much help black people need that is beyond the scope of even a president. Yes, some of us are violent and too many are incarcerated, but that's because there are too few jobs and too many guns and too much of the war on drugs, which I see as a war on black and brown young men. We have to significantly change in those areas. If we don't, we are not helping our brothers. And how can young men save themselves while walking down the street or driving in a car with their buddies? Jordan Davis and Trayvon Martin, both of whom had fathers in their lives, wound up in the morgue before their 18th birthday. But when the president speaks to the black community, there's often a dive into the politics of personal responsibility.
Part of my message, part of our message in this initiative is no excuses. We all have a responsibility to help provide you the tools you need. We've got to help you knock down some of the barriers that you experience. That's what we're here for. But you've got responsibilities too.
I cringe at that, as if effort and excuses have been the problem. No, it's been structural racism, the accumulated impact of historic discrimination and the advantages of white privilege and the systems that perpetuate all that. Going into personal responsibility suggests you can make it if you try. And he knows it's more complex than that. Kids can see the school-to-prison pipeline and the impact of chronic joblessness and the glass ceiling. It's less a change of attitude that's needed, but a change in real opportunity. I don't know where the president's imperative to speak of personal responsibility comes from, perhaps his impulse to try to see both sides. I could do with less of the personal responsibility scolding and more of the boldness of, say, Ronald Reagan telling Gorbachev to tear down this wall because structural racism feels like an invisible Berlin Wall. I want our president, this president, to tell America to tear down the American Berlin Wall that keeps black men separated from opportunity. That sort of big brother in chief would get us closer to the mountaintop. That does it for The Cycle. Now begins now.